how it is to be a pro on the door, okay? And today we're going to be talking about door etiquette, okay? One of the first things we want to talk about is the understanding of what's really going on when you actually start to even knock on the door, okay? Think about it, right? We're watching TV, we're eating food, we're eating dinner, okay? And we hear the first thing to be is surprise, like, right? You know, for me, I have a dog. My dog starts going crazy. I'm like, oh man, who's this? And the first thing you do is ask your wife, like, are you expecting someone? She's like, no. Are you expecting someone? No, right? Of course. So what's actually happening to what's the mentality of the people? So they're coming to the door already thinking like, who is this, right? And then he's like, and then obviously recognize that this is my home. So we have a territorial, protective feeling and mentality that we're going to come to the door in. So what you have to recognize is that you already have all this, in a sense, working against you, right? So what do you have to do? You have to learn what it means to be a pro, is to understand that that is what's actually happening. So one of the first things I always used to me to touch, when I'm talking and teaching my guys, is guess what? The first thing you can do is you can change your knock, right? You don't have to do the police knock, right? No, why are you doing that for, right? I always taught my guys, do a rhythmic knock, right? A knock that is interesting, right? Because now if it's at least an interesting knock, all of a sudden people are like, oh, what was that, right? That's weird. Well, even the way they knock. What are you doing? You're already changing the paradigm and the construct of who or what is at your door already, just by the type of your knock. So one of my famous knocks I always used to do is the, right? Dun, 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 dun. I used to just create an interesting knock. And guys, that seems so simple, yet does so much. The next thing is to do is this. Guess what? Like, how do we appear, right? I always say, how are you dressed? What do you look like, right? So I always say, make sure you are pressed. Make sure you're clean, right? I always say your uniform looks beautiful, and make sure you look like you're a professional. Next thing we want to do is that the one thing is like you're like too close to the door, right? If you're so close to the door, they're gonna look through the window or look through the door and they see you right there. You're like, oh man. So now they're like, oh, okay, I got to deal with a guy who's all up in my grill, right? Guys, one thing is really create distance, right? You want to have enough distance that people feel safe. They feel like I could open my door. I'm not going to hit you with my door, right? So not only really want to make sure it's enough that that door swings open, I can step out and you're still not there. So say there's like stairs maybe right there. I always used to say, knock on the door, get back and get down one step. And I would step down like this, waiting, right? So people feel like they're in the right space and mind, right? The next thing we want to do is actually just appear to just be looking at something else, right? Act like you're distracted. Pay attention to something else. So you're prepared, but you look like you're distracted. It disarms them. So you open the door, all of a sudden I'm going to say, oh man, oh hey, I was just looking at these napkins, like usually most people have like the gray ones. It's really, you actually had the red ones here. Wow. Okay. Well, oh, my bad. My name is Dave, and then I would start, right? And then the next thing, guys, being able to recognize, like, are you smiling, right? Like as you're walking up, what's the appearance you're giving off as you're coming to the door, right? Guys, making sure that when you notice people, when you talk to them, I raise my eyebrows, right? Oh, hey, right? In surprise and wow, okay, I'm excited to see you, right? So my eyebrows are raised. I'm smiling at the same time. Hey, right? Hey, yeah, my bad. I was actually just looking at your your pot of flowers here. It's like you really did so well. You really have a green thumb with those marigolds, right? But making sure that our smiles are genuine. We raise our eyebrows, and that shows the actual excitement about someone. That's telepathing and telegramming the information that, okay, this person feels this way. And trust me, I always tell people the power of a smile can go so far, okay? And let's start creating some unique things to talk about. I always say, stop trying to pitch immediately, okay? When you're at a door, that's never going to work. Okay, what you have to do is break people down, okay? And the first thing to do, I'm gonna create some type of relationship, some type of commonality. I need to figure it out. Okay, so that's where I'm saying the power of your observations, right? So like, as I'm coming up to this house, I should already see, maybe the type of door, the welcome mat that they have. I can see that they're a Cowboys fan. I can see that, maybe you're a Lakers fan. I can see that maybe you were in the military. I can see these things. By you being a pro means that you're going to recognize that it's my job to have 8 to 12 things already in my lineup that I've already identified from this house that gives me things to talk about. And in reality, it's just about me picking the one thing I can already go on, okay? For me, one of my things is that I try to look for things and deal with things that are universal no matter what, right? That just connect people. And some of those things, obviously, to me, are things like sports, things like food, and things like music, right? Those are things that we're going to connect people regardless of who you are. And so if those things are apparent, right? Once again, observations include things like smell, right? People are cooking. The first thing I'm doing, I'm like, I might be distracted, but I'm distracted by the smell. I'm like, and then I distract me. Oh, I was just in a daze smelling that food. What? I know, obviously, I don't know if you're the cook today. I don't know if you're cooking, but who is that person cooking that meal? And whoever it is, they need to get a chef of the year, right? Whatever, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to make sure you're giving that person those type of genuine type of compliment like that. They're like, oh man, they're like, yeah, that's my wife. Oh my goodness, tell me, what are you cooking? Now this is the chance. They give you that opening. Let's go. Let's explore it. Oh, okay. Wow, your wife's cooking? Okay, good. So, I mean, she's the cook, and you're not, maybe you're not the cook, or what are you, the sous chef? You hear music going on in the back. What I do, once again, I'm pretending that I'm distracted, but I'm a dancing guy anyway, so I might be like dancing on the door. I'm like, and then they come out. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, yo, okay. Let me find out. You got the beats in there, okay? Let me find out. Oh, maybe some classical music, okay? Oh, I was just enjoying the music, man. One thing about me, I know that classical music always puts me in the right mood. Is that the same thing for you? Oh, no, man, it's just my kid. They use it for what? Great. Oh, okay. Great. And now what are we going to do? Whatever that is, now it's going to give us a chance to rotate. Great. Oh, wait, how old are your kids? Boom. Now we're talking about kids. It's over. Okay. Always recognize that there's certain things that we want to talk about with people is obviously their kids. They will always do talk about and they'll always love, right? Talk about themselves and talk about the things that they love. So if we can focus on those type of things, we're going to be able to really be able to build a conversation. And these are the things that you need to recognize when you're at the door, okay? I always say mirror them, right? Mirror the customer, right? So if the customer is energy, if the customer's excited, be excited too, right? You're meeting them where they are, right? Some people are calm, right? They're very calm. Matter of fact, as they're talking, make sure your tone, right? Your voice, your volume tends to match them so that it's not overwhelming, right? Sometimes I'm this more exciting person. I'm like, hey, what's going on today? How's everything going on? I was just checking out your, I saw you got a flag, a U of A flag, right? Did you go to U of A? And they're going to be like, yes, I went to the U of A. So now I'm recognizing, okay, Dave, bring down your tone, bring down the energy, and sort of meet them where they are, okay? And I would say the last but not least, once again, one of my mentors taught me this, is like, be to them what your age makes sense. What do I mean by that? So let's say somebody's 65 or older, I'm 37, so what I would be their grandson, right? Or their older son. I'm gonna act like that to them and treat them like a grandma or grandpa. Let's say somebody's more 45. I can be their son's or their son's mate, their daughter's boyfriend, or love for me to somebody for their daughter to marry, right? that perfect son, the perfect guy, right? Making sure that you are who you are to them. This ability right here has really got me to really understand how to treat people who are older than me, in the stages of how much older they are to me, than to my age mates, or maybe even lower, to act like who they would want you to be. These were some door etiquette things that you can follow, okay? Learning to be a door-to-door pro. These are things that you can do so you can upgrade your door-to-door skills and always have a touch of greatness, all right? Peace.